All glories to Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glories to Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Śrī Caitanya-caritāmṛta Antya Lila, Chapter 5, Text 97. Rasabasa hoyayadi siddhanta virodha sahitena pare prabhu manehaya krodha. If there were a hint that transcendental mellows overlapped in a manner contrary to the principles of bhakti cult, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu would not tolerate it and would become very angry. Purport. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur quotes the following definition of rasabas. We did this. Yes. So actually we're starting on text 98. Ateva Prabhu Kichu Age Nahi Sune Ei Maryada Prabhu Kari Yache Nim Yame. Therefore, Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu would not hear anything before Srup Damodar heard it first. The Lord made this etiquette a regulative principle. 99. Arupera Tani Acharya Kailani Vedana Ekavipra Prabhura Nataka Kariyache Utama. Bhagavan Acharya submitted to Srup Damodar Goswami. A good Brahmana has prepared a drama about Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu that appears exceptionally well composed. 100. Adautumi sunayadi tomara mana mane ache mahaprabhure tabe kadai mushravane. First you hear it, and if it is acceptable to your mind, I shall request Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu to hear it also. 101. Arupa kahe tumi gopa parama udara yese shastra sunite icha upaje tomara. Swarup Damodar Goswami replied, Dear Bhagavan Acharya, you are a very liberal cowherd boy. Sometimes the desire awakens within you to hear any kind of poetry. 102. Tadva tadva kavira vakye haya rasa basa siddhanta virudha sunite nahaya ulasa. In the writings of so-called poets, there is generally a possibility of overlapping transcendental mellows. When the mellows thus go against the conclusive understanding, no one likes to hear such poetry. Purport. Tadva Tadva Kavi refers to anyone who writes poetry without knowledge of how to do so. Writing poetry, especially poetry concerning the Vaishnava conclusion, is very difficult. If one writes poetry without proper knowledge, there is every possibility that the mellows will overlap. When this occurs, no learned or advanced Vaishnava will like to hear it. 103. Rasa rasa basayara nahi kavichara bhakti siddhanta sindhu nahi paya para. A so-called poet who has no knowledge of transcendental mellows and the overlapping of transcendental mellows cannot cross the ocean of the conclusions of devotional service. 104 through 105. Nakarana nahi janena janai alankara nataka lankara jnana nahi gaya hara Krishna lila varnite na jane se ichara visheshe durga ma e chaitanya vihara. A poet who does not know the grammatical regulative principles, who is unfamiliar with metaphorical ornaments, especially those employed in drama, and who does not know how to present the pastimes of Lord Krishna is condemned. Moreover, the pastimes of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu are especially difficult to understand. 106. Krishna Lila Gora Lila Sekare Varnana Gora Para Padma Yandra Haya Pranadana. One who has accepted the lotus feet of Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu as his life and soul can describe pastimes of Lord Krishna or the pastimes of Lord Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu. 107. Pramya Kavira Kavitva Sunite Haya Dukkha Vidagda Atmiya Vakya Sunite Haya Shuka. Hearing the poetry of a person who has no transcendental knowledge and also writes about the relationships between man and women simply causes unhappiness, whereas hearing the words of a devotee fully absorbed in ecstatic love causes great happiness. Purport. Ramya Kavi refers to a poet or writer such as authors of novels and other fiction who write only about the relationships between man and woman. The Vidagda Atmiya Vakya however, refers to words written by a devotee who fully understands pure devotional service. Such devotees who follow the parampara system are sometimes described as Sujatya Yasya Snigdaha, or pleasing to the same class of people. Only the poetry and the other writings of such devotees are accepted with great happiness by devotees. 108. Rupayache duhina taka kariyache arambhame sunite yananda bhadeya ramuku bande. The standard for writing dramas has been set by Rupa Goswami. If a devotee hears the introductory portions of his two dramas, they enhance his transcendental pleasure. 109. Aghavana chaya kahe suna eka bara tumi sunile bhala manda jani devi chara. Despite the explanation of Swarup Damodar, Bhagavanacharya requested, please hear the drama once. If you hear it, you can consider whether it is good or bad. 110. Suvitina dina achaya araha karila Tanra agrahe swarupera suniti chahaila. For 2 or 3 days, Bhagavanacharya continually asked Swarup Damodar Goswami to hear the poetry. Because of his repeated requests, Swarup Damodar Goswami wanted to hear the poetry written by the Brahmana from Bengal. 111. Sabhalana Swarupa Goshani Suniti Vashila Tabesi Kavi Nandi Shloka Padila. Swarup Damodar Goswami sat down with the other devotees to hear the poetry, and then the poet began to read the introductory verse. 112. Vikachaka Mala Netre Shri Jagannath Samjane Kanakaru Chir Ihatmanyat Matam Yaha Prapanaha Prakriti Jadam Asesham Chaitayan Avirashit Sadishatu Tabhabhavyam Krishna Chaitanya Devaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead has assumed a golden complexion and has become the soul of the body named Lord Jagannath, whose blooming lotus eyes are widely expanded. Thus he has appeared in Jagannath Puri and brought dull matter to life. May that Lord, Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev, bestow all good fortune upon you. 113. Shokasuni sarvalokata hare vakane swarupa kahe e shloka karaha vyakhyane. When everyone present heard the verse, they all commended the poet, but Swarup Damodar Goswami requested him, kindly explain this verse. 114. Avika he Jagannatha Sundara Sarira Chaitanya Goshani Sariri Mahadira. The poet said, Lord Jagannath is most beautiful body, and Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is exceptionally grave, is the owner of that body. Purport. Sariri refers to a person who knows the Shastra. Sariri refers to a person who owns the Sarira, or body. As stated in Bhagavad Gita 2.13, Dehinosmin yata dehe kumaram yovanam jara tata dehantaras praptir dhiras tatva namuyati. As the embodied soul continually passes in this body from beyond boyhood to youth to old age, the soul similarly passes into a body at death. A sober person is not bewildered by such a change. For the ordinary living being in material existence, there is a division or distinction between the body and the owner of the body. In spiritual existence, however, there is no such distinction, for the body is the owner himself, and the owner is the body himself. In spiritual existence, everything must be spiritual. Therefore, there is no distinction between the body and its owner. 115. Sahaje jada jagatera Caitanya-caritāmṛta Nilachale Mahaprabhu Haila Avirbhute. Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu has appeared here in Nilachala, Jagannath Puri, to spiritualize the entire dull material world. 116. Iyasa Barahaila Anandita Mana Dukapana Svarupa Kahe Sakroda Vachana. Hearing this, everyone present was greatly happy, but Swarup Damodar, who was alone, was very unhappy. He began to speak in great anger. 117. Are Murka Apanara Kaili Sarvanasa Duhita Ishvare Tora Nahika Vishvasa. You are a fool, he said. You have brought ill fortune upon yourself, for you have no knowledge of the existence of the two lords, Jagannath Dev and Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, nor have you faith in them. 118. Purnanda Chitsvarupa Jagannatha Rāya Tanre Kaili Jada Nasvara Prakrita Kaya. Lord Jagannath is completely spiritual and full of transcendental bliss, but you have compared him to a dull, destructible body composed of the inert external energy of the Lord. Purport. If one thinks that the form of Lord Jagannath is an idol made of wood, he immediately brings ill fortune into his life. According to the direction of the Padma Purana, Arche Vishnu Shiladihi Yasyava Nakari Saha, anyone who considers a deity in the temple to be made of stone or wood is a resident of hell. Thus, one who thinks that the body of Lord Jagannath is made of matter, and who distinguishes between Lord Jagannath's body and his soul, is condemned, for he is an offender. A pure devotee who knows the science of Krishna consciousness makes no distinction between Lord Jagannath and his body. He knows that they are identical, just as Lord Krishna and his soul are one and the same. When one's eyes are purified by devotional service performed on the spiritual platform, one can actually envision Lord Jagannath and his body as being completely spiritual. The advanced devotee, therefore, does not see the worshipable deity as having a soul within a body, like an ordinary human being. There is no distinction between the body and the soul of Lord Jagannath, for Lord Jagannath is Satchidananda Vigraha, just as the body of Krishna is Satchidananda Vigraha. There is actually no difference between Lord Jagannath and Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, but the ignorant poet from Bengal applied a material distinction to the body of Lord Śrī Jagannath. 119. Varnasad Aishvarya Caitanya Svayam Bhagavan Tanre Kaili Kshudra Jiva Sfulinga Samana. You have calculated Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, full in 6 opulences, to be on the level of an ordinary living being. Instead of knowing him as the supreme fire, you have accepted him as a spark. Purport. The Upanishads, it is said, Tagner Vishpulinga Vyacharanati. Living entities are like sparks of a fire, and his lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is considered the original great fire. When we hear this Shruti Vakya, or message from the Vedas, we should understand the distinction between Supreme Lord Krishna and the living entities. A person under the control of external energy, however, cannot understand that distinction. Such a person cannot understand that the Supreme Person is the original great fire, whereas the living entities are simply small fragmental parts of that Supreme Personality of Godhead. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 15.7, Mamai bhamso jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manasastani driyani prakritistani karshati. Living entities in this conditioned world are my eternal fragmental parts. Due to conditioned life, they are struggling very hard with the six senses, which includes the mind. There is a distinction between the body and the soul of the materially existing living being. But because Śrī Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Jagannath do not possess material bodies, there is no distinction between their bodies and the souls. On the spiritual platform, body and soul are identical. There is no distinction. There is no distinction between them. As stated in Srimad Bhagavatam 1.11.38. Etad ishnam ishashiya prakritisto pitad gunai nayugyate sadhatmastar yatha buddhis tad asraya. This is the divinity of the personality of Godhead. He is not affected by the qualities of material nature, even though he is in contact with them. Similarly, the devotees who have taken shelter of the Lord cannot be influenced by the material qualities. His Lordship, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, is unaffected by the influence of the three modes of material nature. Indeed, his devotees are also unpolluted by the influence of the external energy because they engage in his service. They engage in the service of his Lordship. Even the very body of a devotee becomes spiritualized, just as an iron rod put into the fire becomes qualified as fire because it becomes red hot and will immediately burn anything it touches. Therefore, the poet from Bengal committed a great offense by treating Lord Jagannath's body and Lord Jagannath, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as two different entities, material and spiritual, as if the Lord were an ordinary living being. The Lord is always the master of the material energy. Therefore, he is not doomed to be covered by the material energy like an ordinary living entity. Thus ends our reading for today. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Madhava Kori Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Om Vishnu Pad Srila Bhakti Namacharya Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Nishkam Shanta Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to Sripad Bhakti Vigyan Muni Maharaj Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees Ki Jai. Bhakti Vrinda Ki Jai. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Jai Shriman Krishna Kesava Prabhu Ki Jai.